Stem cells are natural, so no drug company can go in and go through the system and
Try to monetize it?
Yeah, so it's very different.
Because the long-term side effects are starting to play out now, and it's not good. It's really bad.
Figuring out what you're allergic to and eliminating that as quickly as possible is the key.
So start there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Real Deal Talk. This is a powerful episode that we are about to get into, ladies and gentlemen, because here's why. Today, we are talking with the CEO of Luxury Stem Cells. Ryan Alling is in the house, ladies and
Let's go.
How's that for an entrance?
Oh, that was amazing.
How's that for an intro?
You got the voice down. You sound like you could be a WWE announcer.
Let's go. I'll take it. Whatever. As long as they pay well, I'm in.
And you look like you could whoop on some of the people in WWE.
And I could wrestle also. As long as they pay well. I don't know if they could afford me. McMahon, I don't know. Well, he's got plenty of money. He's got deep pockets.
They might make you do some weird stuff to get in, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it.
So Ryan Alling, again, CEO of Luxury Stem Cells. So, folks, let me tell you something. Everybody's hearing about stem cells nowadays. It's becoming more and more of a topic. So today, in this episode, we are going to dig so deep into stem cells. You're going to know what they are, where they come from, how do they compare to other stem cell clinics. These guys, Luxury Stem Cells is in Tijuana, right?
Yes, sir.
And we're going to get into why it's in Tijuana, not the States, and how they get them and where they get them. We're going to get into what they do for the human body, and I'm so excited for this episode, bro. So welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on, man. I'm looking forward to breaking this down because right now with my wife and I, my family, we are leaning so far in and digging into health and wellness. We just want to create this health and wellness movement to kind of spark people to make a move on their health because as you know, Ryan, our country is programming us to be very unhealthy right now. And as a result, we are very unhealthy as a country.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, thank you for having me. And I mean, I'm 100% with the cause. I just want to spread the word and inspire people to make changes because I wasn't always healthy. When I was in my early 20s, I was always sick, had dermatitis, inflammation, and it turned out it was food allergies. And at the HMOs, they don't test for food allergies and basic things that could be the underlying cause of disease, which generally comes from systemic inflammation. So once I found that out in my early 20s, everything changed. I put on muscle, became healthier, had less brain fog, more energy. And that was really the starting point for me.
I love it.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we go to the same naturopathic doctor.
Yeah.
So he was the one who helped me unearth these issues. And then ever since then, I just started looking into the alternative things to, one, gain health, and then two, just gain a scientific advantage at the biological level.
I love it.
From the competition and just trying to be my best self. And I think people need to take a scientific approach to be your best self. Mindset is important.
Right.
But if you have these underlying illnesses, then you're always going to be a shadow of what you can be.
I totally agree, man. And you can have the greatest mindset ever, but if your physical body scientifically is not operating at the optimal level, you can have problems.
Oh, 100%.
And the only way to get to really know what's going on in your body is what? Full blood panels.
Full blood panels. I'd say allergy panels. I've taken fecal tests.
Yeah.
I've done everything because a lot of times they'll just put you on antibiotics that destroy your system. I'll give an example.
What does an antibiotic do? Because go there.
An antibiotic basically kills everything in your body, good and bad bacteria in your gut. So every time you take antibiotics, you're destroying the good bacteria in your gut as well as the bad bacteria. So we have trillions of bacteria in our microbiome. There's actually more foreign bacteria cells in our gut than we have cells in our body.
Wow.
And when you destroy the good bacteria, it's very bad. But the bad bacteria also, they feed on junk food. So they feed on sugars and those kinds of foods. So Yeah, it's very important to have that balance. And there's been multiple times where mine has been unbalanced, and I've actually had an overgrowth of good bacteria in my colon, and it causes a lot of issues.
No, an overgrown. You said good bacteria.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I was taking too many probiotics, and so we got to the bottom of it with the fecal test.
Yeah.
And I got this antibiotic that doesn't go systemic; it goes directly to the colon, but the issue with that is if I would have got that through Kaiser or an HMO, it would have been $3,000 for a round. But but my naturopath ordered it from Israel to come to me, and it was like $100.
Are you with Dr. Braun?
Yeah, I was with Dr. Bronner. Yeah,
Dr. Bronner. That's right. I forgot about that.
I know. Yeah, he's amazing.
He's unbelievable. I love him.
And he's hilarious. He knows everything. I mean, he got me on the NAD Plus probably 15 years ago before it became mainstream. Yeah.
I love that guy. He's from what, the Bronx?
Yeah.
So when you talk to him, he's so East, so Bronx.
Yeah.
But he's so passionate about helping people. Dr. Braun, I love you, bro. We got to send him this.
Yeah.
Because getting a hold of that guy now is like getting a hold of the president.
I know. I've told him to come in here. It's right on the way home from his
So you've
house.
talked to him recently?
Yeah. I'm going in next month, actually, for my biannual
I got to get him on here.
Yeah, you should.
That would be probably the funniest podcast ever. Just get him going.
Yeah,
I got to get him on here, and he has a sleep system from us. He is. I've been doing business with him for like 15 years at least.
Yeah,
I love him. All right, okay. So there's your seed. There's your planting seed, folks. Go stick around on this one. But I want to get into a little bit more of your backstory. You just gave us a little bit of your backstory, how you were unhealthy in your 20s. But let's go all the way back just to give people some context, where you came from, what's going on, how did you get to this where you're at now. So where were you? How old are you now, by the way?
I'm 34.
34, young buck in the house, exactly 20 years younger than me, 2 decades younger than me. You're basically a child.
I've been told.
Yes.
I've been told.
But look at this guy. He's a specimen. Look at it. He's phenomenal. He's got the hair. He's covering it with his luxury stem cells hat, but he's got this big fro hair. That's a bouffant. What do they call it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Stem cells help the hair.
Does it really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
My first, the first round of IV stem cells I got, I would get facials from this girl.
Yeah.
And she told me, she's like, "Wow, what did you do differently with your skin?" I was like, "I got stem cells, exosomes, IVs."
Wow.
Because it heals everything from within. You know, your skin is a reflection of your underlying health. So if you're eating foods that are inflaming you, and it ruins your skin.
And everything's about inflammation, right?
Yeah.
What did you say about systemic inflammation? You said something, just everything usually...
all chronic disease is usually a result of inflammation. So, and that's one of the things that stem cells do is they modulate inflammation. They're kind of like heat-seeking missiles that go to wherever the inflammation in your body is, and they start the healing process.
Okay. All right, there's the seed we're planting, because I want to dig in already on this, but I want to at least get a little backstory here real quick.
Okay.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Scripps Ranch.
Scripps Ranch. I didn't know that.
The same neighborhood you live in.
Shut up.
Yeah.
In Stonebridge?
No.
Or just in the area?
Lake Point. Yeah, overlooking Miramar Lake.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went to Cathedral for a couple years. Then I went to Scripps Ranch High School. And then I took my talents to San Francisco, which was
for sports, like actual or just
no.
Just
my scholastic talents.
Oh yeah,
so,
did you have good scholastic talents?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
And then I got a finance degree there. Went into wealth management. I've been in wealth management for about 10 years now. Still do that. But
what's the name of that company?
It's called Wedbush. Wedbush Securities. Yeah,
Wedbush Securities.
We're one of the largest firms in the country.
And what do you do there?
I do financial planning, wealth management, but I can't talk too much about that because we're heavily regulated, and everything that I say regarding that has to be approved because we're huge targets in this overly litigious country. I'll give you an example. So I was with Edward Jones for a bit, and basically that business is built door-to-door sales. So one of the advisors at Edward Jones went and door knocked a lawyer, got permission to call the guy. The guy willingly gave him his number, knowing that he was on the do not call list, went back, sued Edward Jones for $70 million and won.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah. So when I got there, we had to get like a waiver, sign a waiver at the door for permission to call people. So Yeah, that's just an example.
Wow.
But one thing I will say is most of the people who talk finance on the internet don't know what they're talking about. And
Yeah.
they're encouraging people to take way too much risk in selling programs. So that's the one thing I will say about that.
That's how they make their money, is they're selling programs.
Yeah, they basically flex with the Lambos and all that stuff and say, hey, buy this options trading program. All these people don't know. They're taking way too much risk and losing their asses. So yeah,
Wow.
it's unfortunate. I can talk about things, but everything I say has to be regarding finance has to be pre-approved.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Incredible.
Yeah, so it is crazy, but it's a highly regulated industry, and it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, and
Right.
they could say something out there that could make people lose a lot of money. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but one of the reasons I became so interested in the stem cells is in that business, working with older wealthy people who focus on building their business. A lot of them neglect their health.
Yes.
And then they get to a point where they can't enjoy what they've worked so hard for. And, I think that you got to have both health and wealth to live your best life. The freedom from the wealth. And then if you're constrained by your health, then you can't do the things that you want to do. And, what's the point of living if you can't do the things that you want to do?
Yeah, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy enough to even enjoy it, that's why health is wealth. Cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
And the best quote I've heard recently, I'm saying it all the time now, is when you are healthy, you have 1,000 problems. When you're unhealthy, when you're sick, you have one problem.
Yeah.
You can't even think or concentrate on anything else in the world when you're sick.
Yeah.
Even when you get the flu or the cold, I can't do anything. I mean, I come to work, I still do my thing, but I just can't even think straight.
Yeah, you can't do what you need to do at the highest level.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to have that health, that basis.
Exactly. Okay, so going back, both parents in the house, good childhood, brothers, sisters. Let's lay that out a little bit.
Yeah. So both parents in the house.
Yeah.
Actually,
Great relationship, good role models.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I actually work with my dad on the finance side.
nice.
So he's been mentoring me about this stuff my whole life. So
Amazing.
knew I wanted to get into that industry.
How old's your dad? Do I even want to know?
66.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
thought you
he just got his hip replaced.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. It was one of the best things he ever did. But he could have got stem cells, but he was probably past the point of no return. So typically, if there's less than 20% soft tissue in a joint, you're not going to be a good candidate for stem cells. So,
Okay.
But he played basketball every day until his mid 50s. So
Wow.
So he's a beast. Yeah, he played D1 for IUPUI Indiana. Yeah, he's even bigger than me. He's 6'6", 250. Never lifted
Good
a weight in
Lord.
his life.
And how tall are you? 6'5"?
6'4".
6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4", 230.
230. 232.5.
Oh man.
When meatheads, we know our weight to like the half a pound.
Oh yeah.
Where are you at right now? 228 and a half.
Yeah. Well, but I weigh myself less because I feel like if I weigh myself too much, I'm like, oh, I'm getting skinny.
Yeah.
And then I'll be encouraged to eat healthy just to put on that weight. But over the years, I've learned, yeah, you need to know your weight, but what's more important is just sticking to the diet and the plan.
Correct. You know, if you're like, I rarely step on a scale because sometimes I just don't want to see the number because I know I'm feeling good. You also know like the waistband is feeling looser. You know if a T-shirt in the back is starting to hit a love handle. Have you ever had that one?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've experienced that or not, but I know that I'm putting on a little extra fat if the back of my T-shirt is hitting my love handle. and folks, guys, you know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah. 100%.
Then I know I'm like, oh my God, that's not good. Like as soon as I feel it falling and it's not hitting the love handle, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm lean right now.
Yeah.
But to your point, the scale isn't everything, and folks, do not weigh yourself regularly, especially if you're trying to stay lean or be healthy, because if you get obsessed with the number, it'll get in your head. And the reason why is, Ryan, you know this, muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
So you could be gaining muscle, losing fat, and you could actually be heavier and be leaner.
Yeah.
Because
And you look bigger when you're leaner too.
Correct.
Like I've been 250 before.
Yeah.
But I was hefty, a hefty 250, fat face.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel as good. And then once I know my body very well. Once I get above 240, my joints just hurt more.
Right.
That's just, it's too much muscle for my frame.
Yeah.
You know?
you can like, and it's so funny because when I get leaner, I get more vascular, and I'll be down, like right now I'm 10 pounds lower than I was like a month or two ago. That's because I did a fast. That's a whole nother conversation. And people are like, dude, you're huge right now. I'm like, no, I'm actually smaller.
Yeah.
But when you're leaner, you look bigger.
Way bigger.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I know.
It's a beautiful thing, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
You feel way better too.
You do. You just feel great. You know, like, because when you're super heavy, carrying a lot of weight, it's hard to do normal. Even tie your shoes is like a process.
Yeah. And then every pound of fat, I've heard, has 4 miles of veins.
What?
So that's how much harder your heart has to work.
Shut up.
Yeah. So that's a lot. That's a lot of extra work on the heart. That's tons.
Because everything, as we're aging, ladies and gentlemen, is how well or not is oxygenated blood flowing through the body or not.
Yeah, 100%.
It's everything. So everything we're doing at Real Deal Wellness, everything you're doing at your clinic, is all about facilitating oxygenated blood.
Yeah,
through the body.
100%.
For healing, for natural healing.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So let's say that's that again. You're saying that in every pound of fat, how many miles of blood vessels was it?
I believe it's 4.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I believe it's 4.
And the heart has to pump blood, which I just brought in a PEMF machine for Real Deal. I'm kind of experimenting here because that helps vasomotion, which is pushing blood to the capillaries.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard great things about PEMF.
And so now I'm getting into this. So I'm now fascinated by it.
Yeah.
So that's
and one of the beauties of stem cells is one of the first things they go to work on is the circulatory system.
That's it.
Yeah.
First thing.
It's very, very important. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, backstory. We keep getting off here, but that's fine. People are loving this. They love when we're talking health and wellness. All right. So high school, you did great in school. You took your talents to, where was it again?
San Francisco State.
Okay. And you were there 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay. 4 years. Did you bachelor's in what? Finance?
Yeah, finance.
Okay. And then you immediately get a job. Did you come back to San Diego? Did you always know you wanted to come back to San Diego?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The day I finished classes, I left. I didn't even walk. I was like, screw
Are you
this place.
serious?
Yeah, San Francisco is just not a good. It's not a good place.
Why?
It's really gone. It's just poorly managed. It's really gone downhill. I mean, my house was broken into while I was there. Like I literally walked into an active burglary, and my door handle was broken, so it would take about 2 minutes to get into the house. But when I got in, my TV was on the ground. I went upstairs. My laptop, watches were gone, and then the back door was open. So the guy got out before I got in, which was good because he would have been taken out.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly.
My gosh.
But yeah, it's just a bad. There's crap all over the sidewalk. They give out free syringes, and it's just there's a very big victim.
And this is how
victim mindset going on in the city of San Francisco. Everyone thinks they're a victim, and it's just a negative place. Very negative.
And this was how many years ago?
2015.
Okay, so that's 10 years ago. Do you feel at this point it's taking a turn for the better or worse?
It's got way worse.
Way worse.
Yeah, my friends, a couple of my friends still live up there. At least once a month, their windows are getting broken.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, it's insane. It's really
this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they're not broadcasting this on mainstream media.
No,
not at all.
No, I mean, one of the 49ers rookies got robbed for his Rolex his first week there. He got shot in the chest. He was lucky to be alive. Just in the middle of downtown, like Union Square, middle of downtown San Francisco. Yeah. It's Ricky something. I forget his name.
Wow.
But yeah, rookie wide receiver. And I mean, they basically just legalized theft up there. The whole mall in downtown San Francisco is basically vacant now. In the Fillmore district.
Wait, what's vacant?
The mall in downtown.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was. They used to have the flagship Nordstrom store. It was an amazing mall. I actually used to take pledges there and make them get girls' numbers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a beautiful place. Tons of great stores, but California basically legalized theft under $1,000. You can't chase them out of the store, so people took advantage of that, and they would just rob these stores in masses. I mean, there's videos of it all over. And then even grocery stores have to leave neighborhoods. Like a Safeway in the Fillmore is leaving, and people are protesting them leaving. But it's like, dude, you guys are the ones that are causing it to leave. Like, you're stealing the food. Like, What do you think?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, so let's go back now. All right, so San Fran, graduated. You literally left immediately to come back to San Diego, and because you didn't even, you just want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. I just wanted to get out. I mean, another thing, it's San Francisco's very cloudy. I didn't like the weather there.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you would see the sun once a month, but I did. I had a great time up there. I met a lot of lifelong friends. Learned some great stuff in school, but the education system is very flawed here. So most of the things I learned in my career was, growing up with my dad, and then when I moved back, I took the Series 7 66 and got all my financial registrations done, and then I started in the business. But I've always been very into the health and wellness.
Yeah.
I did some online training as well. And then, like I said, I wanted to improve people's lives. And I got into the stem cell stuff.
Yeah, so go back to, you said in your 20s you were unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's take it from there, and then which I think is what you're doing, but I want to get a little bit more detail because you touched on it at the beginning of the interview, where you were unhealthy, you were heavy, you had allergy things. Like, what was the first time, or when was the first time, and what was the first thing that you did when you started realizing, okay, I need to make a change here, I need to get tested, something's wrong? What age? Where were you? Start there.
Yeah. So 21 years old was when I first did micronutrient panels, food allergy testing.
What sparked you to do that?
Mostly being sick all the time. I would get sick all the time. I had sinus issues, dermatitis on my face, which is indications of low level inflammation throughout the body. And it stemmed from poor gut health. So I started, I found out what I was.
So you reached out to a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Found out what kind of food sensitivities I had.
How did you know to do a food sensitivity test? How did you know that?
The doctor recommended
He did?
Yeah. So the naturopathic doctor, because they don't do these things at
This is Dr. Bronner up in San Fran?
No, Dr. Bronner.
Okay,
I would come down while I was in school to visit him.
Okay, got it. How did you originally go to Dr. Braun? What sparked that?
My neighbor told my mom about him. And then we went in there, and the rest is history. Yeah, got me on some supplements to naturally heal my gut. And I was just extremely strict with my diet, extremely strict with my supplements and my workouts. And the fat melted off. That was like the first time I got super shredded and healthy, had all the energy in the world.
Low 20s, 21, 22.
Yeah. And then the 20s were great.
So go back to let's talk gut stuff. Like immediately he tested you for food allergies.
Mm-hmm.
How does he know? Because I never had this test before as far as the gut biome. Mm-hmm. How did he know that at one point you said you had too much good bacteria?
Oh yeah. So that,
how do you know that? Was that a test as well?
Yeah. So that was a fecal test. So basically this one's called a GI map. So you poop in a cup, you mail it to a lab, and they look at a lot of different factors. So at Kaiser, they only test for about 5 things. This GI map tests for tons of different things. So we found out it was an overgrowth of good bacteria that usually is in a certain area of the colon. So we got an antibiotic that only went to that area of the colon and just went away instantly.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, and that antibiotic, if I would have got it through Kaiser, I think it's like $3,000 a round.
Wow.
So, it's just great.
And so Dr. Braun, or whoever, if anybody wants to do this, you went, something was wrong. You went in, and was it your mom that then referred Dr. Braun? Okay, this is the guy you go to get this stuff tested. So what did he start with? He started with a food allergy.
Yeah, food allergy.
What did that come back as?
Celiac disease. A bunch of random
What's
things.
celiac disease?
Celiac, it's like a very severe form of a gluten allergy.
Okay.
So your body basically can't digest these things. But it was almonds. Watermelon was actually the thing I was the most allergic to. Yeah. It was. So there's a scale. It's like 1 to 3. Watermelon was off the charts at 3.14. So that was the thing I was most allergic to. And I have a list of probably about 40 different things on my fridge. And then I also got my dog food allergy tested. So I got his list right next to my list. But anyone can get these tests done. You can go online. You can do Viomi is a good one. They mail you a package, and you can do these tests. All these.
What do you have to send in besides poop?
It was the allergy test is a blood test.
It's a blood test.
Yeah. So the allergy test was a blood test.
Then you have to go in and get the blood test.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how Viomi works. I just know they do like mail food allergy testing.
Yeah.
Like they'll mail you a kit.
Okay.
I don't know exactly how it works, but I've told friends to do that, and a lot of friends have done that. And I mean, food is everything.
Everything.
It's the foundation. You know, if you're not eating what you need to eat, it doesn't matter if you're working out. It doesn't matter if you're taking the supplements. It doesn't matter if you're doing cryo, stem cells, or any of this stuff. The foundation is nutrition.
Nutrition.
Yeah.
And my wellness center, Catalyst Wellness, that I go to for my hormone optimization, they do this. Ladies and gentlemen, they do these tests here in San Diego. So Catalyst Wellness does all of these tests, and so does Dr. Braun. Mm-hmm. Dr. Braun's just a little bit harder to get into. He's like the guy.
Yeah, there's a wait list.
There's a wait list. Like that guy.
Unless you tell him you know Ryan Alling, then you get it a little
or
bit
JD.
quicker.
I have sent him a lot of clients.
Yeah, me too.
I love him, man. I just love that guy. And he's just the best guy to talk to. He's hilarious.
He is.
Okay, so you started there, and then the test also came back with the bad bacteria as well, correct?
Yeah, definitely had so the bad bacteria was the first round. The fecal test was more recent. That was, I'd say, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was just experiencing the same symptoms, so we did another food allergy test, because your food allergy change every so often. So how many
years do you think that changes?
Every 5 to 10 years.
Really?
So like I did a 10-year gap in between mine, and the results were significantly different.
Are you serious?
It was insane. Yeah. So on the second one, I became unallergic to almonds. And now I'm allergic to tuna.
Tuna?
So they change. Yeah, they change significantly. And some of it.
And this is by a blood test.
Yeah. And some of it has to do with if you're eating a lot of certain things that can lead to sensitivities.
Wow.
So yeah, I eat a lot of steak. I'm just praying to God steak never shows up on that list.
And so again, reiterate here, ladies and gentlemen, food, nutrition is everything.
100%.
100%. Because so a lot of what's happening now with people is they could be very potentially be eating stuff that's getting them inflamed, bad bacteria in their gut. And what did they do to cure the bad bacteria and also do the thing with the good bacteria?
Yeah.
What was the?
So I was taking a supplement that had it was aloe, glutamine, and some other things in it.
Yeah.
It's a natural supplement that's just good for your gut. And then eating fermented foods is very good. So
what does that mean?
Apple cider vinegar, kimchi, things like that.
And apple cider vinegar is good for everybody.
Yeah.
Do you take that? Do you drink that a lot?
Yeah, I take shots of it.
Every morning or?
Yeah, every so often.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit every day.
Yeah. A little bit every day.
Mm-hmm. And then probiotics are good too. You don't want to overdo them. And then certain people, because there's a lot of different strands of good bacteria. And if you don't know what you're lacking, then it might not be good to just start taking random probiotics. Because that's what I did. That's what led to the overgrowth of the good bacteria.
Wow. Because I do a greens drink every morning, and it has it says 1 billion probiotics in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love my greens drink. It's super high end. It came from a referred, but more like a guru in my life that I know. So I have no idea. I feel good. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten these tests.
Yeah. I'd say definitely get some of these tests for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, I think the diet is definitely the most important thing.
And then, so let's, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for watching, for listening. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you, the feedback, the love. So if you want to support the show, we have a company, Real Deal Wellness. That's our wellness center. It's a membership base where you pay $99 a month, have unlimited access to red light therapy, cryotherapy, compression therapy, halo therapy, as well as massage chairs. Also, Real Deal Sleep's our mattress company. But again, we can't thank you enough for subscribing and for sharing the show. Continue to do so. We love you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Digestion, right? Digestion, elimination. How important is eliminating properly, like eliminating the waste out of your body? AKA bowel
Yeah.
movements. I don't know why I'm getting on this,
Yeah.
but for some reason I thought of it.
I think it's pretty important. I mean, I've had a lot of gut issues my whole life,
Yeah.
and I may even have Crohn's disease. I'm actually in the process of getting tested for that.
Yeah.
'Cause I've had all these gut issues, and I mean, a lot of it is definitely from the food allergies, but
Yeah.
some of it also could come from the things in our food.
Right.
Our food is terrible,
Terrible.
which is it's great that we got RFK in there because he's eliminating a lot of these things.
Yeah, what's RFK doing? Let's talk about his mission.
Oh man, he's just basically trying to stop Big Pharma from bending us over. I mean, they've been bending us over for decades. And yeah, he's a hero. I mean, if you just look what Fauci did during COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically burned 30 million pills of ivermectin that were in the federal stockpile, and ivermectin was known to be great for treating COVID. Very, very cheap drug.
This is a known thing that they literally burn them.
Yeah, it's known. I'd recommend anyone to read RFK's book on Fauci. It talks about all this stuff, the things he did with AIDS. But yeah, he's one of the biggest criminals we've ever seen in this world.
Ever.
Yeah, and so basically, ivermectin won a Nobel Peace Prize. It's known to help with COVID symptoms, and they burned them in order to push the vaccine on people, so these big pharma companies can make a lot of money. It's just, and now you see all the issues with the vaccine.
Tons.
I mean, like one of the things that stem cells are great for is treating COVID vaccine injury. Because
you're seeing it in your clinic.
Oh yeah, I just had a guy down last week. He was there for 10 days. He did 2 rounds of stem cells, and he said he hasn't felt this good in 5 years. Started crying on his hotel bed, and then wanted to double up his stem cell dose
because he took the vaccine.
Yeah, so so the vaccine can cause both neurological and circulatory issues, and one of the things that stem cells are so good at is recovering the circulatory system. And then with him, since he was having the neurological issues, we applied the exosomes through a nebulizer, which basically goes through your nose. And exosomes are way smaller than stem cells, probably about 1/50th of the size of stem cells, so they can cross the blood-brain barrier a lot easier. And yeah, he's hasn't been this healthy in years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did he notice an immediate decline when he took the vaccine? Was it immediate?
I don't know if it was immediate, but he was in bad shape. He had to quit his job.
Wow.
But he did a lot of things on his own to improve his health. He bought one of the mats that we were talking about earlier. He has one of those at his house.
PMF mat?
PMF mat. He's really nice one. He took ivermectin, a lot of other things he did on his own to help his health.
Yeah.
Some peptides, but he needed that push, which is why he came down and got stem cells with us. And he just did a really good video testimonial. But yeah, he was down there for 10 days, very, very long protocol. So it's 10 days of hyperbaric every single day.
Every day.
He did 200 million stem cells. He did a placental implant, stromal vascular factor, exosomes, and a lot of other things. All of our protocols are 100% customized to the patient.
Yeah.
We don't have a one size fits all like most of these clinics where they just say, hey, come down, we're going to sell you stem cells, kick you out, that's it. A lot of these things are, they work very well when paired together. So all these protocols are very, very strategic and catered to the individual patient.
Okay, so now that you're getting into stem cells already here, let's go to the basics. Everybody's hearing stem cells, and it sounds really cool.
Yeah,
like it sounds really cool. I love it
is pretty cool.
I love the sound of it. But what are they? Let's start there. What exactly is a stem cell?
Okay, a stem cell is essentially a blank cell. So a stem cell, there's different types of stem cells, and different types of stem cells can turn into different cells in your body. So a stem cell is a blank cell. As that stem cell becomes older, it can turn into less types of cells. So the youngest cells you can have, they come from the aborted fetuses, which everyone thinks stem cells come from aborted fetuses.
Yes.
Our cells come from either umbilical cord or placenta. So those are younger. All the issues that have happened in stem cell research typically come from the cells from aborted fetuses.
Yeah.
So And then there's also not donor stem cells. There's stem cells which you can extract from your own body from adipose tissue or bone marrow.
Yep.
And those do work well. That's typically the type of stem cells that we use in America.
Yeah.
And those they work well, but it's kind of a painful process to remove them, and you don't know how many cells you're gonna yield from that surgery. And they're also older stem cells, so they're not as versatile as the donor cells, which come from Wharton's jelly, the umbilical cord, or placenta.
What's the jelly thing? What's that?
Wharton's jelly.
What's that?
So Wharton's jelly is the jelly inside the umbilical cord. It's very high in stem cells. So basically, the birth tissue is donated. This happens in both the U.S. and all around the world. So when a baby's born, you have the option to donate the tissues. And
Of the umbilical cord.
Yeah, the cord and the placenta.
Okay.
So when you donate those, they're sent to a lab, and the stem cells are separated from the rest of the tissue. So they're very high in stem cells, but they're not 100% stem cells. So a lab has to go in there and do the separation, and it's a very, very strict and stringent process.
Yeah.
So typically when there's certain requirements that have to be met for people to donate stem cells.
Okay.
So typically it's going to be first offspring, female baby, and the mother 18 to 23 years old. And you can't sell stem cells anywhere in the world. It's illegal. Everything has to be donated. And then in Mexico, the mothers are compensated with additional medical care. So it's because it can be a conflict of interest because, a lot of people could just have a lot of babies and sell their stem cells.
Yes.
So there's very, very strict rules. It's regulated by the Mexican equivalent of the FDA. And they do a lot of tests on the mother prior to donation to make sure there's no issues, no hepatitis, no other types of diseases where people could be infected by these donor cells.
And so a stem cell, you said it's a blank cell.
Yes, essentially. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So we all have different types of cells in our body.
Yeah.
We have skin cells, muscle cells, organ cells.
Gotcha.
Before those cells become those types of cells, they were a stem cell at one point. So when a baby is born, the fetus is basically all stem cells. So
yes,
those cells turn
because they haven't turned into anything yet.
Yeah, so they turn into the other types of cells in the body over time. And
incredible.
So it's pretty.
And so let's go back about where stem cell clinics are getting these stem cells, because I know people are, when they're hearing this right now, they're horrified. I'm horrified from an actual aborted fetus. Where do you guys get yours from at Luxury Stem Cells?
Yeah, so we work with one of the biggest labs in Mexico right now, but we're actually in the process of building our own lab.
Yes.
So within the next 15 days, we'll have our own lab. Everything will be built on site. And it's very important to have the lab close to where the stem cells are applied, because when you freeze stem cells, you lose about 50% of the bioavailability.
When you freeze them?
When you freeze them, yeah, because they're very fragile. Stem cells are very fragile.
What's the shelf life, quote unquote, of?
If you freeze them, it could be a while, but we prefer to not freeze them because you're going to yield way closer to 100% of the bioavailability of the cells. So our exosomes are basically harvested the day before the procedure.
What's an exosome?
So an exosome is it's basically a byproduct of a stem cell. So stem cells secrete exosomes.
Yep.
Exosomes are responsible for intracellular communication. So they direct cells in the body and kind of instruct. They're kind of like the CEOs.
Yeah.
They tell different cells in the body what to do, and they're very, very good to be applied with stem cells, but also as a standalone treatment. So one of the popular treatments are exosomes facials. So basically, you put exosomes on your face.
How do you put them on the face?
You get a microneedling device.
Yeah.
So we have a microneedling device. We microneedle the face. We put them on top, and then we can also inject them deeper into the dermis. And it's way better than Botox. Doesn't make you look like a fish, and it's phenomenal.
And you can actually move your face.
Yeah, you can move your face. Yeah. I'm moving my face pretty well right now.
Do you get it done?
Yeah, I've got it done.
Oh yeah. and your skin looks great.
Yeah, it's
$1 million bucks.
It's doing all right for
All
my
right.
age.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm officially, as of this year, I'll be middle-aged.
Yes, officially.
35, yeah.
Welcome to the club, bro. Nice job. You made it. All right, so, and then your stem cells, are you getting them from the placenta? Are you getting from, where do you guys get yours from specifically? What body part?
Okay, so it depends what we're treating.
Yeah. Okay,
So
gotcha.
typically the cord cells, which are derived from Wharton's jelly, are better for connective tissue, whereas placenta-derived cells are more catered toward organ treatments. So for our very thorough anti-aging treatments, and then also treating the chronic diseases, we're going to be using both types, as well as exosomes and a stromal vascular factor, which basically helps activate the stem cells in the body. So we're attacking from all angles, and they're very synergistic when used together for overall body health and anti-aging.
And you're not getting yours from aborted fetuses.
No, those are dangerous.
Who's doing that? Like a lot of clinics? I mean, we don't have to name names.
No, I don't think most clinics aren't doing that anymore. I think that was more so toward the very beginning of this, when we're still doing research. But I mean, the problem with those cells is they can turn into basically any kind of cell in the body.
Yeah.
Whereas the placenta and umbilical cord cells are younger, so they're a lot less risky.
Yeah.
Essentially no risk.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so when somebody comes down, give me a whole protocol here. Like, because I've sent you several clients already. One woman went down and she had, was it cancer?
So that's a completely different treatment. That's immune therapy. So that is basically with that kind of treatment. Immune therapy can also be used for autoimmune diseases. So basically with that, we're adding T cells to the body. Different types of T cells, reg T, killer T.
And what's a T cell?
So T cells are immune cells. So basically with a cancer patient, we're going to program the T cell to go directly after the cancer. So instead of chemo, which is like an A bomb going into your body, this is like SEAL Team 6 going into Blast Osama.
I love that.
Yeah. So we're actually, clinics in the US are now doing this type of treatment. I had a good friend of mine, he owns the cigar lounge I go to. His mom received immune therapy at UCSD, because they're starting to use it for certain blood cancers here in the U.S. And she got amazing results from it. Wow. Yeah. So it is becoming more mainstream in the U.S. It just, it's taken a lot longer because the system here is you can't. Stem cells are natural, so no drug company can go in and go through the system and
try to monetize it.
Yeah. So it's very different. And that's that's part of the reason why it's not so big in the U.S. And then also it's very effective. You can treat degenerative diseases and especially like joint issues like that.
Like getting T cells.
For stem cells.
Stem cell. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can treat all these diseases, and then instead of people having to take pills and be a perpetuity for big pharma, they can be healed.
They can actually be healed.
Yeah.
Rather than masking the symptoms. All right. So, and we're going to get on that. Let's not forget, we're going to get on our current quote unquote healthcare system, AKA disease management system. We're going to get on that. We're going to go off on that. But I want to stay on the stem cells and I want to talk about the T cells more. Okay. So you're saying, because I have there's quite a few people, unfortunately, in my life, especially my clinic, my wellness center here, that are either getting cancer, and the majority of them are choosing the chemo and radiation route. And obviously, this is the information that we're sharing is like, don't go by what we're saying. We're just talking.
Everyone's very different.
Do what you think is best for you and your family. But I've read and heard and researched that chemo is like an 87% failure rate. This is what I'm studying and finding out, right? But yet the system is still telling people that's the only route to go. Our system in America. Yeah. Look at the face. Okay. So what you're saying, like what you do, especially with the T cells, you can go actually directly after the cancer cells. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's a very complex process. Basically, you go in, you get blood drawn, it's kind of like a vaccine of your own body. So the lab will work and they multiply your T cells. And then a couple weeks later, once they're multiplied, they're applied back into the body. And then it's a sequence of a certain amount of treatments. But yeah, it's a very, very advanced process.
And so in your experience, we don't guarantee results here. Disclaimer. Have you seen that you have significantly helped people get rid of cancer, minimize it? What has been your experience and what have you seen so far?
Yeah. So typically most of the people that come to us are terminal. So
Really?
they've already been in the US, they've been treated with chemo. You have to be off chemo for a certain amount of time before you do this therapy. So
How much time? Do you know the time?
The doctor,
Several
I'm not a
months.
doctor. I know the basics. So
Okay.
I'd guess at least 8 weeks.
Okay.
But like I said, every patient's different and the doctor's the one who determines those decisions.
Okay.
So most of the people that come to us are terminal,
By terminal,
stage 4.
they've tried chemo, radiation. The doctor says you're done.
Yeah, stage 4, and then the U.S. system says, yeah, you're finished. So we've
Get your affairs in order.
Yeah, basically last year we saved 4 out of 6 patients.
4 out of 6 that were terminal. Whew. Wow. That's a good percentage.
Yeah, but yeah, it's tough though because I mean my mom has a CLL, which is it's a low form of the lowest form of blood cancer, and she did chemo and it's worked great for her.
It did.
But she does have the low energy and the side effects.
Yeah.
So different things work for different people, but yeah, we just want to let people know there's more options out there.
And that's on. Let's talk about that real quick because you've got 2 decisions. You've got 2 choices really. You can go the natural route, and for what I'm seeing, hearing, that's more of a kind of a pleasurable route because you're actually increasing the health in your body and the immune system of your body, right?
Yeah.
Or you choose to go the I'm going to say it, the poison route to poison your body that hopefully actually poisons the cancer also. But then your side effects are feel like hell, like really bad.
Well, side effects are high. Then it's also chemo's pretty expensive. And,
super expensive.
Insurance pays for it, so that's just a perpetual cash flow for the companies that make it.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
because I've heard that doctors actually get a cut off chemo.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I've heard, for a lot of drugs. Yeah.
And chemo specifically is one of them. Like they get a nice cut from chemo because chemo's super expensive.
Yeah.
And the doctor gets a cut for referring it.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with joint stuff. You know, every surgery they perform to replace a joint, it's like $40,000 to $70,000 to replace a joint. And then once you replace that joint, there's no going back. So
That's it.
yeah.
That's crazy.
But like I said, it does work. My dad got his hip replaced, but he waited 15 years to do the surgery.
Too long.
So he's probably past the point of no return. And stem cells aren't going to work for everyone. If you're past the point of no return, when you have less than 20% of soft tissue in that joint, it may not work for you, you know?
So,
but the only risk is, you know, if you're below that, you might lose some money, but it's better than going under the knife and taking a chance.
right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, because my mom had her hip replaced, and like you said, it was fantastic. She went from pain all the time to feeling great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and so again, let's talk about that one again. So what you're saying is like any type of like a shoulder, like it's a shoulder issue, a hip, a joint. If they get to it early enough, stem cells can help.
Yeah,
and most likely will.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And how does this? So the stem cells. Talk to me about how does a stem cell help? What is it? What's the most common one? Knee or hip? Probably hip, right?
Knee, probably knee.
Knee?
Knee's
Okay.
very common, yeah. But knee, shoulder, hip, all that stuff is very common. I mean, I did my shoulder. The first time I ever treated myself with stem cells was the shoulder. And when I say treated myself, I'm not saying I injected them in there. The doctor did it for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, when you have issues in there, you're injecting blank cells in there, which are they go to where the inflammation is, and then they start the healing process, and they have the ability to turn into the cells that are damaged. So you put stem cells and exosomes into the joint.
And exosomes.
And
before you said it's one or the other, or can you do them both?
No. You can do them both with PRP too. So PRP has your own genetic material in there. So it's
plasma rich.
platelet-rich plasma.
Platelet-rich plasma.
Yeah. So,
Right.
and PRP can treat joint injuries, but they can't really heal joint injuries.
Really?
Because what stem cells are actually going to rebuild the tissue. The PRP works, has a bunch of growth factors and other things that are good for you, but stem cells actually can turn into the cells that are damaged and missing, whereas PRP doesn't have the capability of doing that, really.
So PRP, platelet-rich plasma, go through the procedure. Do you guys do that too, PRP?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So walk me through that process. How does that work?
So basically with PRP, you draw your own blood. It's placed in a spindle. It's spun around, and when it's spun around, the platelets are separated. So basically the high plasma is separated from the rest of the blood, and then you inject the high plasma platelets into your injury. And it's very, like I said, it's very, very effective.
I've heard it's very effective.
It's nowhere near the level of stem cells and exosomes, but we do like to put PRP into the joint with the stem cells and exosomes due to the fact that it has your own genetic material, and it helps a lot with all these things when used together are very synergistic. So PRP alone, let's say it's a 3 out of 10. Stem cells alone, a 20. Exosomes, maybe a 10. But when you put all those together, it's a 200.
Wow.
So that's kind of how these things work together. They work very synergistically together. And then when you add other things like DMSO, that helps with cell permeability. So it helps the stem cells and exosomes work better.
What's DMSO?
It's a compound that we use with basically the day before we're applying the stem cells, we're preparing the body for the stem cells. So DMSO is a very common one. It helps with cell permeability. And then based on the patient's blood work, other IVs will be applied on the first day. And then on day 2, that's when we apply the biologics. So stem cells, exosomes. We'll also do hyperbaric oxygen on day 1 and day 2 because hyperbaric oxygen compresses your body and pushes the stem cells into the capillaries. So it compresses it, and then 2, it hyperoxygenates your body. So you're basically in a superhuman state of oxygenization.
Yeah.
And hyperbaric oxygen alone helps with joint pain. So
joint pain, everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love HBOT.
HBOT. So it's on the radar for Real Deal Wellness, by the way. In fact, tomorrow morning I'm having a meeting inside of an HBOT capsule, like almost looks like a space capsule, which I think is the kind of the one like you have, right?
Yeah. We have 2. We have a 4-man, which is the largest one in Mexico, and then we have a 2-man as well. They're both medical grade, go down 2.6 atmospheres, which is equivalent to about 80, 90 feet underwater of pressure, and it's 100% oxygen in the machine. So basically, it's 15 minutes of compressing your body, 1 hour of being compressed with 100% oxygen in there, and then 15 minutes of decompression, and then you're done. So an hour and a half total. It's a great standalone treatment, but it should definitely be used with most stem cell procedures.
And so the client gets the stem cell procedure, exosomes, stem cells. How fast do you put them in the HBOT, the hyperbaric? After that?
So on day 1, they're going to do HBOT. A lot of people stay with us.
Prepare them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're doing HBOT every single day of treatment typically. So you can knock out a joint treatment in 1 day or 2 days, but we include IVs as well. And the more HBOT you do, the better the outcome will be. So we encourage people to stay longer. Like I said, the patient who came down for post-COVID vaccine injury was here for 10 days. He did HBOT every single day. But yeah, the more HBOT you do, the better results you're going to get from a stem cell procedure.
And explain that one more time. How does HBOT, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, let me explain the acronym. How does the oxygen, the HBOT, help facilitate the stem cells and the exosomes? Like, how does that work?
Okay. So first it hyperoxygenates your body. And then 2, you're basically being compressed. So it's the equivalent of going 80 feet underwater.
Yep.
So all your cells are being compressed as well as the oxygen, and it enables the stem cells to be pushed further into the extremities of the body. Yeah, and it works.
Is it almost like a vasoconstriction response?
Yeah,
Similar?
Somewhat, I would say.
And then it pushes it further into the cells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so do you do the H-bot before you get the injection of stem cells, or do you do it?
It really depends.
Yeah.
You want to do it within, a couple hours.
Okay.
But like I said, we're not doing the stem cells every single day. But we want, if someone's doing an anti-aging protocol, we'd prefer for them to be there for 5 days or so they could do more H-bot. But I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to the patient's schedule. Some people want to get out quick, but I mean, one thing I can say is it's very comfortable. Our system is very comfortable, so staying down there is not a big deal. We're connected with very nice hotels.
I was going to say, where do people stay?
We have drivers, we have like restaurant lists, basically anything that people need, we have down there.
And so you've contracted out with local hotels, nice hotels.
Yeah. So most people will stay at the courts. We get a discount on rooms there. I know all the staff.
How far is that from your place?
So it's actually connected to one of our
Really?
locations. Yeah.
Oh,
so it's 0.7 of a mile across the border. You can even walk there. And the Courts Hotel is connected to the New City Medical Plaza, which is the place where one of our hyperbaric machines is. It's the 2-man machine.
Yeah.
So you could walk from your hyperbaric appointment 100 yards back to your hotel. There's maybe 5 to 7 restaurants there, 24-hour room service, nice gym, nice spa. And the other place, so we have multiple locations because we have so many different things. We have different MRIs, CT scans,
you've
X-rays.
got all those.
We have everything at a couple different locations. So 3 different locations. But the IVs are typically applied at a different place where the 4-man hyperbaric machine is.
Okay. Wow. All right. So luxury stem cells. How do you compare? Because there's a big one down there. Mm-hmm. What's the big ones that I think even Joe Rogan talked about?
Yeah. So we're very similar to them.
Are we able to name their name? Can you?
I'd prefer not to.
Okay.
I don't want to get sued by anyone.
But they're a big name.
Yeah. So we do things very similar to them. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about any of the competition. I think everyone's doing good work down there.
Would you say you're more reasonably priced?
Yeah, I would say so.
Safe to say.
Yeah, but we're also not a low cost provider.
Yeah.
So we, like them, we provide very thorough protocols. The highest quality stem cells, and then we're not a lot of the clinics down there will just give you a stem cell injection of frozen stem cells that, and they won't do any of the other stuff to prepare the body, and then the synergistic things like hyperbaric oxygen, exosomes. DMSO and those other things that are pertinent for a more successful stem cell protocol.
And DMSO, what does that stand for?
I couldn't tell you.
But that's part of what gets the body prepared.
Yeah.
Is it an injection? What is it?
Yeah, it's an IV.
It's an IV.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of IVs are involved in this.
Yeah.
There's, like I said, people can expect to be getting like 3 to 4 hours of IVs every single day during the therapy. On the days they're not doing stem cells, they'll be doing different IVs, and then hyperbaric oxygen as well. So it's
wow.
Yeah, it's very thorough, and it's a lot of medical treatment that you're getting.
Incredible.
You don't just go down and get injected and say, "Oh, we hope for the best."
Yeah. You're literally they couldn't be better cared for. You couldn't be hitting it with more stuff.
Yeah.
Hyperbaric, DMSO, I mean, exosomes, IVs. So talk to me some stories.
Okay.
Now you said you saved 4 out of 6 people that were terminal, and the doctor wrote them off and said you're done.
Yeah.
And
but cancer, something that can be treated, but it's something I'd typically like to stay away from. I'd rather help people on the anti-aging side, because cancer is a very stressful thing.
Yeah.
And we have the options of people that we want to work with. We get a lot of business, so I'd prefer to treat people with joint injuries, anti-aging, and other degenerative diseases, because cancer, people die.
Yeah,
and
I know.
It's unfortunate. Like
Yeah.
So it's something I don't like to deal with as much as the other things. But joint wise, we've never had someone who has had a bad experience treating a joint.
Give me some miraculous things that you've seen that people have come in, like how bad they are with a joint thing.
Oh man,
what? Give me some stories. Give me a couple stories of things that you can remember of a story. They came in, they had this situation going on, and you freaking turned them around.
Yeah. So one of the best stories I'd say is actually the first time I got treated. I brought a friend down with me to get treated as well.
Yeah.
So he's a professional skateboarder, so he's been doing crazy shit his whole life.
Yeah.
And he not only did he have a really bad knee, but he also had a 9-pound benign tumor in his stomach that blew up, crushed one of his kidneys.
9 pounds?
Yeah, it was 9 pounds. It was the size of like a large yam.
He didn't even know it?
No, he didn't know. He was moving a couch up the stairs and he felt some pain. So he went to the doctor and they're like, yeah, you got a 9-pound benign tumor in here. So he got it removed. Super intense surgery, has a huge scar on his stomach. And he lost a lot of weight. He was pale, just felt terrible. And he was also a client of mine. So I told him, hey, I have this new business, stem cells in Mexico. I think you would benefit. And he's like, all right, let's do it. So we went down. It was a 3-day treatment. So we treated his knee and then we gave him 75 million stem cells via IV. I think about 50 billion exosomes, hyperbaric every single day, as well as the other IVs we spoke about. And 8 weeks later, he was in a professional skating contest again, skateboarding without shoes, doing crazy stuff. And he sent me a video of him doing this stunt, no shoes, with like a huge crowd watching. He's like, hey, the STEMIs worked.
Wow.
And it was one of the best things I've ever seen. And then when he got back from Europe, I got lunch with him about 8 weeks later. And he's kind of a tan guy. And his complexion came back. He packed on probably 10 pounds of muscle. And all that was from the IVs. That wasn't from the knee thing. His body needed something to heal him. Yeah. And the stem cells went to work. They went to the areas that were damaged. Like I said, they're like heat-seeking missiles for inflammation, and it changed his life. And he's doing amazing now. He has a new skate deck company. He has just had a kid, and he's incredible. He's just doing amazing.
All right, so I love that I now know what a stem cell is. It's a blank cell. So So you inject it into the body, and what it does is it immediately, it's a heat-seeking missile. I love that analogy. So it goes to what so it'll immediately find damaged cells in your body?
Yes.
Is that what happens?
So basically they're modulators of inflammation. So where there's inflammation in your body, that's where they will go. But sometimes you're unnecessarily inflamed. So another thing that we like to do is ozone therapy prior to the stem cells, because ozone will lower systemic inflammation. And then when you lower the systemic inflammation, the stem cells will actually go to where they need to go.
Gotcha.
Because those areas are the serious areas that need to be fixed. So with the IV, the stem cells go systemically through the IV. But if we're treating like a shoulder, we're going to concentrate them into the shoulder.
You can inject them right into there.
Yeah. So we do MRIs, and then we also do guided ultrasound injections to make sure the stem cells go precisely where they need to go.
Got it.
So a lot of clinics won't do guided ultrasound injections. They'll just stick it into the cavity and hope for the best. But we do the MRI, we do the guided ultrasound injection, and our head doctor has been a radiologist for over 30 years.
Wow.
So, and he's also one of the top hyperbaric oxygen doctors in Mexico. And he's been doing this for a long time, and he's multidimensionally skilled, and one of the best doctors that you could have apply stem cells to your body.
These are one of the docs I'm going to bring on the show, right? We're going to get him in here.
Yeah,
you think we can get him in here?
We can get him in here. So it's a whole family of doctors. So Dr. Luis is the patriarch, and then all of his kids are in medical school right now. So his younger son is finishing up right now. And it's an amazing that, it's just like just like your business, family business. And it's just incredible, just great people to work with.
All right. So now, since you mentioned, so let's talk about this, because you're in TJ. For me, right off the bat, And I know some people are thinking this.
Yeah.
So I want to address this. And me, I'm like, ugh, TJ. Why TJ? Like, why are you not in the States? Like, are stem cells not allowed here in the States? Talk to me about why TJ and what's going on with the current state of affairs in our country as far as stem cells go. Why would you open up in TJ and not in somewhere here in the States?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's definitely multifactorial. So one, TJ is the medical tourism capital of the world, and it's for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So one, it's right next to America. I mean, I know a lot of people.
It is?
Yeah, it's slightly close.
I'm kidding.
So a lot of people go down there for everyday treatments. Like
Yeah.
Diane, for example, is going down for a dentist appointment next week.
Yep.
It's very easy.
Diane's a real deal wellness employee, by the way.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out Diane.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, so she's going down there for dental work, and
And the reason why is because it's a lot cheaper.
well, yeah, it's cheaper, and then it's the same quality. So
Yeah.
let's just
Let's
talk about
debunk that myth.
Talk about the economics about it. So the peso to dollar exchange rate is 20 to 1.
Yeah.
Typically anywhere from 15 to 20 to 1. That's a huge purchasing power for Americans.
Yeah.
And the average nurse makes about, I think, $50,000 to $60,000 down there. Doctors maybe around 80. So when you think about the cost of doing business, and then on top of that, all the regulations that come with doing business in California, everything is highly inflated here for any kind of business in California, especially medical and especially anti-aging. So, I mean, just a couple of years ago, a lot of these compounding pharmacies were shut down just because the FDA is very against these new treatments because it's conflict of interest for big pharma.
Explain what a compound pharmacy is.
So
I know what it is, but
yeah. So a compounding pharmacy basically they compound certain drugs. So they can make testosterone, certain peptides, NAD plus, glutathione, certain drugs that are not made by a big pharma company, but are classified as drugs and prescribed by doctors here. So
that actually heal people, though.
yeah, they heal people, and most of them are natural. NAD plus is a natural compound. It's a B vitamin.
Right.
Glutathione is one of the most prevalent antioxidants in your body. You're just adding these things to get an additional benefit. So a lot of these were shut down due to that conflict of interest. And
the conflict of interest was big pharma.
Big pharma, basically, yeah.
They can't get their hand in it.
Yeah, so big pharma, and big pharma does make a lot of these drugs. Like Pfizer makes testosterone and other things, and a lot of that business was being lost to the compounding pharmacies.
Gotcha.
And then California put a law into place where basically you had to get certain drugs only in California. So I was getting my HRT, my testosterone human growth hormone, from a place in Miami, and then this law came into place and basically made it so you had to go in every month to get blood work, which it's just complete scam just to ruin these businesses out of state, because obviously the cost of doing business out of California is a lot cheaper because California is has more regulations than any other state.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are just pointless. I mean, regulations are important, but at the same time, it's way harder for entrepreneurs to open businesses when you have all these regulations.
Yeah, totally.
But coming back to the stem cell thing in particular, Mexico is superior in a lot of ways.
Wow.
One, I mean, we mentioned the price. I mean, if you're going to get around 5 million stem cells here, it's anywhere from like $5,000 to $10,000
for about 5 million.
Yeah, and 5 million is a tiny dose.
Tiny.
Yeah. So with us, typically you're paying more, but you're getting 150 million stem cells or more with exosomes, with the placental implant, and you can't. I don't think they're really even using placental stem cells here in America.
What are they using?
It's usually Wharton's jelly, and it's also been frozen for a while, so less bioavailability. And then they also do the process where you extract your own stem cells, either from adipose tissue or bone marrow. And that is a process. You basically
explain that.
Yeah, so basically you have to stick a needle deep in there, and then they extract your own stem cells and they multiply them. Sometimes they multiply them, sometimes they don't. But the problem is, you don't know how many stem cells you're going to yield from that surgery. It's probably going to be a lower number than needed. And they're also older stem cells.
Yeah.
So as we age, as do our stem cells. So when you're using the stem cells that come from birth tissue that's only a couple days old, those stem cells are a lot more potent and they can turn into a lot of other types of tissue that the extracted stem cells are incapable of turning into.
How do we have stem cells in our body now, though, like a blank cell?
So
how's that possible?
Yeah, so you're born with a certain amount of stem cells, and when you get injured, those stem cells go to heal the injury in your body. So that's one of the reasons why older people, say you get a cut on your arm, it takes them a lot longer to heal from that cut than it would like a toddler or an adolescent person.
And that's because of
it's because they have a lot more stem cells. Yeah. So as you
and you have less as you age.
Yeah, you have less as you age. And there's certain products out there that say they activate your own stem cells. Those are all scams.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them actually use the mechanism of GHKCU, which is a peptide. It's actually a very good anti-aging peptide, good for skin, hair, and circulatory system. But yeah, so they basically say they boost stem cells via boosting GHKCU.
Okay.
But yeah, America is just, it's way behind in the realm of stem cells. I'd say the two worst countries in the world regarding stem cells are the UK and America.
Really?
You can go, a lot of places in Europe have amazing stem cell regulations and clinics. Mexico, Colombia, Dubai, like all over the world, there are phenomenal stem cell clinics. Like, you don't need to go to us. You can go anywhere. But the problem is America is definitely on the back end of the stem cell revolution.
And what is the system, Big Pharma? Mm-hmm. How do they feel about stem cells? They're probably not happy.
No, not at all. I mean, one of the benefits of RFK coming in is he wants to bring stem cells and peptides to the forefront. But like I said earlier, the issue with stem cells is you can't copyright that, or not copyright,
right.
But
trademark.
Yeah, anything, because it's a live tissue.
Yeah.
So like when you make a drug, you have to go through the 7-year phase where no one can replicate that drug, and that's how these companies make so much money. After that period, then people can make derivatives of the drug and sell the drug.
Yes.
So that's the basic reason. And then stem cells can really help with a lot of degenerative diseases due to the modulation of inflammation in the healing process. Whereas most of the drugs that Big Pharma is giving you only mask the symptoms.
Correct.
And I mean, they're just designed, you're just being capitalized off of, basically.
That's it.
I mean, you can look at like Adderall prescriptions. They've 10x'd in the last 20 years.
Why?
There's 40 million Adderall prescriptions. Well, one, it's an addictive compound, and once you get addicted to it, you rely on it, and that's just a perpetuity for Big Pharma.
Of course.
Perpetual income stream.
The people I've had, and I've said this before, but I'm going to say again since we're on this topic tonight or today. The amount of people taking Adderall now, bro. I'm hearing that a lot of teenagers are taking this, and the parents are getting it for them because it's helping them concentrate more, and they're doing better in school because of Adderall. It's a thing.
Yeah. Oh, they gave it to me in 4th grade.
4th grade?
They gave it to me in 4th grade, and I became addicted to it. I abused it for years, and it was a drug that was given to me by a doctor who supposedly knows what they're doing, but yeah, it caused a lot of issues in my life.
Let's go off on
this. Yeah, I'm off of it now. I use NAD+. I use some other peptides to heal the brain, because Adderall destroys your brain.
All right, go on it. What do you know pretty much about what Adderall does? Pretty good amount.
Yeah.
Break it down. Let's go.
So Adderall is,
because a lot of parents listen here that have their kids on Adderall.
Yeah, Adderall is basically a derivative of meth. There's like a couple different molecules away from meth. And
crystal meth.
Yeah, crystal meth. And if you're a kid, it restricts your diet. You're not going to be eating enough to grow, and then it just basically destroys the dopamine loop in your brain.
Yes.
Because basically what Adderall does, and what amphetamines or any stimulant does, is it increases dopamine in your brain, which enables you to focus more. But there's other ways to do that, and Yeah, I think it's just one of the most harmful things in society right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Terrible. Like I had a guy come in, he was with his daughter. She's a softball player, 14, 15 years old. He asked me, JD, what do you think of Adderall? I said, not good. He's like, really? I said, no, it's a drug and it's messing with your body's natural means of producing the dopamine and what we have in our body.
Yeah.
He's like, well, man, he goes, I'm under so much pressure because she really wants to go on it because all of her friends are on it. All of her friends are, I'm like, that was news to me. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah, it's a thing now. They're all on it because it's helping them concentrate better and they're doing better in school on it. I'm like, this is sick. Think about Big Pharma, how much they're cashing in on this.
Yeah. It's
into our children.
Well, it's worse than all the other drugs too, because it is addictive.
Yes.
Like, I mean, antidepressants are bad. They do help some people, but they're not addictive like Adderall. Like Adderall, you crave it. You get a bad come down from it. And, yeah, I'd say Adderall is one of the worst things. You could easily be doing NAD plus, which is a natural, and it's actually good for you and an anti-aging compound.
Does NAD plus do kind of the same thing? Talk to me about NAD plus. You said it was like a B vitamin. And this interview is brought to you by Real Deal Wellness. This is a company my wife and I just launched, Real Deal Wellness. It's a membership base. We're charging the lowest price that has ever been offered for wellness in San Diego in history. You're going to get cryotherapy, red light therapy, infrared sauna, compression therapy, and halotherapy, which is dry salt therapy. Real Deal Wellness. You can go to our website, realdealwellness.net. Also, subscribe to the channel, share it, like it. We love you. We appreciate you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, NAD plus essentially fires up your mitochondria. So the mitochondria is the firehouse of your cell.
Yep.
It's where the energy is produced. And as you get older, your mitochondria weakens, which results to aging.
Yep.
So it not only is it good for focus, it's good for workouts, it's good for your skin, it's good for a lot of other things because it keeps the powerhouse of the cell going.
Right.
And
because the mitochondria then increases, like facilitates ATP.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is intracellular repair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of NAD plus. I've been using it for years.
Can kids be on NAD plus?
That's
a good question.
That is a good
question. I
question.
haven't studied yet either.
I mean, there's also natural NAD plus boosters like NMN is one, but another thing they're trying to classify in a particular form of NMN as a drug, so Big Pharma can capitalize off it.
Of course,
and it's led by David Sinclair, who is he's like one of the most renowned anti-aging scientists, but he basically turned his back on everyone, and he's trying to turn it into a drug, so it has to be prescribed, and Big Pharma can make money off it. So it's crazy.
So let's talk about the current system of the country here. We're basically have a disease management system. Mm-hmm. And how bad is it that when a commercial is talking about a drug that's going to supposedly, possibly, maybe help you, but the whole commercial's side effects?
That's so true. There's only 2 countries in the world where you can advertise drugs on TV. It's the U.S. and New Zealand. No other countries allow that. It's only us.
Unbelievable.
In RFK, once again, the king, he's going in and trying to ban that.
God bless his soul, but bro, if he stays alive, I'm not even going to believe. I hate this. I hate to say that, but Big Pharma's the mafia, bro.
Yeah. I mean, like you saw it with his dad and uncle. I mean, both of them smoked.
Yeah. It's scary.
I know.
And so Adderall, going back here, Adderall is prescribed for like ADHD kids, right?
Yeah.
Is that the number one thing that's prescribed for them?
Yeah, it's ADHD. Mm-hmm. And another thing that I think is a problem is a lot of these kids who have ADHD, they're just not meant to be employees. They're meant to be entrepreneurs.
I agree with this.
Like I was meant to be an entrepreneur. And a lot of these are just creative kids who aren't meant for the system.
They're not being stimulated.
The school system here was established in an area where where Ford was coming to prominence, and we needed to create employees who could produce around
industrial
on a certain schedule around the clock. So these people are basically they're programmed to be employees.
Yeah.
And the school system reflects that. Which is, I mean, it's a disservice to the innovation because the kids who aren't paying attention in class are frequently the ones who go on to change the world.
100%.
Yeah.
I was terrible in school. I just didn't, I got nothing out of it. I was bored. I didn't like it. I was the teachers. I just didn't get along with teachers, authority, and look at me now.
Yeah.
Now I've had 50, 60 employees, and the majority of them have college degrees.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, there was a Henry Ford quote when he was getting grilled during a hearing about his lack of education, and his response was, "I could press a button and summon 50 men who are smarter than me who work for me."
Yeah, that was Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, Think and Grow Rich talked about
Yes.
it. Yeah.
And they were like making fun of him. He's like, that's okay, because I can just press this button, and then this person can come in and help solve this problem that I don't know about. I can press this button, and then this person will come in and solve that problem.
Yeah.
Right? I remember that. I love that one.
It's so legendary.
Okay, so we got Tijuana. We've got the states. We've got a disease management system. We have a major problem. Mm-hmm. So what about people that are being told that the only way that they can be like, you got to go on this pill? Like for high blood pressure, hypertension, what do they call it? Statins.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? Like, talk to me about a more natural way of healing. Let's kind of go on this a little bit. I want to poo-poo the system we're in right now.
Yeah. So basically, we're in a system where they basically treat the symptoms, not the underlying root of the disease. So, I mean, you have it right in the name. HMO is a health maintenance organization. It's not a health optimization organization, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to optimize everything so we can perform at the highest level possible.
Right.
So yeah, if you look at it, all these drugs just mask the symptoms. They don't get to the underlying cause. Like we were talking about earlier with the nutrition and the food allergies. I mean, HMOs don't even look at that. You have to get like 20 referrals to get to the allergy department, and they use like the most primitive method. They poke you with the needles that have the food.
Yes.
It's like what's going on? We have way better technology these days, but the goal in those organizations is to keep the cost down and just keep people
them in the system.
Yeah, basically. So
keep them in the system.
Yeah, like when I went in for my shoulder injury, basically they just gave me a crinkled up 8.5 by 11 sheet, told me to do rotator cuffs. They didn't even take an MRI on my shoulder, didn't take an X-ray. So basically for 10 years before I got involved in the business, I was just working out through the pain. And once I got involved, we did an MRI. I had a tear in my shoulder. We did
the whole time.
25 million stem cells and some IVs, and it was healed in 3 weeks.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Phenomenal. Yeah. So basically, the injury resulted in football. I broke the left growth plate in my elbow, so the left side's a little longer. And
wow.
Yeah, the guy who broke my elbow went on to win 3 rings with the
Are
Patriots.
you serious? Who was it?
Tyler Gaffney.
No way.
Yeah, I played basketball, football, and baseball with him growing up. The guy was just a specimen. Yeah.
Was this high school or college that you played?
No, this was middle school. I've
known
him my whole life.
No way.
Yeah, he played running back, and then he played in basketball. He played center because he was the tallest. He would get the rebound, smoke the point guards up the court.
Wow.
Yeah, and he played baseball and football at Stanford. Got drafted by the Pirates and the Patriots. Ended up going the football route, and
I remember the name.
Yeah, he never saw the field. He only saw the field a couple times though.
Incredible.
Didn't really give him a chance, which I think was insane. The guy was a Heisman candidate in college and just an absolute specimen.
It puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
Like athletes at this elite level, how really phenomenal you have to be to actually see the field.
Yeah, you have to be a freak.
Freak
To see the field.
Speaking of which, freaks, professional athletes, do you have a lot coming to you? Do you have professional athletes coming in?
Yeah, we have professional athletes, influencers, and just a lot of everyday people.
And so what's the main thing for athletes? They just want to be optimal. They're like let's say they don't have any like injuries or anything. Is stem cells good for people that just want to, if they've got it like that and they've got money to just optimize their anti-aging? Give me that little kind of protocol.
Yeah. I mean, for that, they could just do an anti-aging protocol. I mean, it's just going to heal any small injuries they may have that they may not be aware of. And you're basically just extending your life.
Quite simply.
Yeah. And then, a lot of athletes get small injuries here and there. I mean, I'll just mention a couple professional athletes who got stem cells. I mean, Peyton Manning wouldn't have got his second Super Bowl if it wasn't for the stem cell treatments he got in his neck. Cristiano Ronaldo was back on the field 2 weeks after, I think it was a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
But all these guys are getting stem cells. A lot of them just don't talk about it. And a lot of them are doing these natural things, but they don't talk about it because a lot of it is looked down upon. I mean, a lot of them talk about hyperbaric and cryo and those things that are more mainstream these days. But when it comes to stem cells, peptides, and other performance enhancing things, they don't talk about it, but they're all doing it.
Okay, peptides. Let's go on peptides.
Peptides, yeah.
Everybody's starting to talk about it now. What is a peptide? What do they do? Give me your experience with peptides. I take peptides myself right now, but let's start at the definition of what is a peptide.
Okay, a peptide is basically a short chain amino acid. So there's a lot of different peptides in your body. Some of them are peptide hormones, like for example, insulin is a peptide hormone. Human growth hormone is a peptide hormone. But recently, a lot of it is coming out of Russia. They're synthesizing a lot of different peptides in the body, which are responsible for different things. So some of the popular ones are the healing ones, like BPC,
157,
157, TB 500, and those help with healing, but they mostly just modulate inflammation. But there's literally thousands of different peptides. There's some for the brain. Some can make you tan. So GHKCU is good for your skin and hair. There's fat loss peptides, but there's also some of them are harmful peptides, like some of the GLP-1s. GLP-1s are peptides also. So
what's that?
That's Ozempic.
Oh, really? Hold on a second. So Ozempic's a peptide?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Ozempic. How bad is Ozempic?
I think,
or glutamine, right? Isn't it? No, sorry. Semaglutide.
Yeah. So they're all GLP-1 inhibitors. So basically, they inhibit a certain action in the body, and I think they're trash. I mean, one doctor.
They're originally for diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes and weight loss, but
for what? Insulin resistance? Like, what was it originally used for?
Yeah, I believe so. Basically, like insulin sensitivity, I would guess.
And how did it become a thing for weight loss? And what's happening? Let's break this down, bro, because you got a lot of people doing this, and they're basically addicted to it, so they're staying on it. I'm hearing about like paralyzing stomachs. I'm hearing break this down.
Yeah, so I never really delved too much into it. So once I saw this, a famous doctor he basically did some research on his own patients who were taking them, and he found that only 30% of the weight loss comes from fat. The rest is from bone and muscle wasting, because basically it makes you not hungry while also lowering your blood sugar. So you're basically starving. That's why you see people with like sunken in faces. They get super skinny. They just look like malnourished on it.
Yeah.
And
because that's what's happening.
Yeah, but I think some new ones are coming out that are a little better. I think it's far from safe, where at least where the science is right now. And I mean, I've seen people take it and they just do not look healthy.
And so
my brother and mom took it for a while. They were having serious stomach issues.
I'm hearing like that some people are experiencing like paralyzed stomach, like their stomach becomes paralyzed from taking this. Like it's really bad.
Yeah, and
it's like not even reversible.
Can't go to the restroom. Yeah, it's basically a new drug. They don't know what's going on with just like the COVID vaccine. It was a brand new drug, no data, no research, and people are just hopping on it.
Well, when you can come up with a quick magic pill that you're going to lose weight, bro, that's it.
Yeah,
it's over.
I agree. But I think the main problem with it is when you get off it, all the weight comes back.
Correct.
So if people are going to use it in the short run, fix your habits, and then get off it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, fix your habits, eat right.
But I think it's a trash drug. I think people shouldn't be using it. But I mean, people are going to use it. So if you're going to use it responsibly. Fix your habits, get off it. Because most people that are taking it are still eating Taco Bell,
if not even worse.
Yeah, they're eating junk food and they're trying to take the easy way out. Everyone wants to take the easy way out.
Everybody wants the easy.
Nothing valuable in life is easy.
Nothing. Like, especially your health.
Yeah, like it's tough.
And this is the quick fix pill.
Yeah, but it's if you could change your habits for the long run, that's the best way to do it.
Yep. And I like what you said there. If you're going to do this, like 3-6 months, drop some weight, but then change your habits, get an exercise program, eat right, drink lots of water, focus on your sleep, get into some of the wellness stuff that we do. The natural healing properties of the human bodies are facilitated from extreme heat, sauna, extreme cold, cryo, cold plunge, pressure, compression therapy. These are going to facilitate blood flow, oxygen saturation in the body. But guys, do not stay on this Ozempic or semaglutide or whatever the hell they're calling it. Do not stay on it, I'd say, more than 6 months. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, that's even a long time.
That's a long
I would
time.
Say just a couple months.
3 months.
2 to 3.
That's it.
But yeah, it's just not good.
Because the long-term side effects are starting to play out now, and it's not good. It's really bad. And a lot of them I'm hearing are irreversible.
Yeah.
Like the frozen, the stomach that's becoming paralyzed is frightening, and they're saying it can't be reversed.
Yeah, that's no bueno. You need food. and another thing with weight loss, you can't starve yourself either. When you're starving yourself, your metabolism is going to slow down because it's used to less calories. So you're with Ozempic, you're essentially starving yourself, and
it's not good.
With or without Ozempic, starving yourself is not going to get you the result. You still have to eat. You have to eat a balanced diet. I think any extreme diet is bad. I've experimented with every single diet out there: keto, paleo. I think the best thing to do is just find out what food sensitivities you have, and then just eat clean 90% of the time.
So on that note, right there, let's segue into what's your program. Okay, Ryan Alling, give me your weekly regimen on food. What supplements are you taking? NAD3, injections for HRT, anything else? Give me your protocol.
So when it comes to diet, it's a lot of steak, a lot of fruits and vegetables, healthy carbs, rice, organic oats, things of that nature. Like I eat carbs because I lift heavy, so I need the energy.
Yep.
Not everyone needs the same amount of energy that I do. So a lot of carbs may not work for a lot of people, but it's just whole foods. I also I drink a lot of protein shakes, a lot of bone broth protein, and then beef isolate. No whey, no dairy. I used to drink vegan protein shakes, but I found out I'm allergic to pea protein, which is one of the main components.
Yeah.
So just figuring out what you're allergic to and eliminating that as quickly as possible is the key.
So start there, and then we'll go further.
Yeah.
With what you do, your protocol. I want to hear about NAD3 and all this stuff.
So supplement wise, I take resveratrol, quercetin, a bunch of fish oil. I take broccoli, which is sulfur. I forget how to pronounce it, but it's a really, really good supplement. And then when I did my last micronutrient panel, it was one of the recommended supplements.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I take. So when I did the micronutrient panel, we found out what micronutrients I was deficient in. So I'm not just taking a bunch of random stuff.
Gotcha.
I know what my body needs because it was deficient in the blood work.
Yeah.
So a lot of B vitamins, pantothenic acid, inositol, just a bunch of random things that I was deficient in.
And so on that note, so what we're going to suggest to people is, first thing you do is go get the test.
Yeah. You have to get the test. And
Get a full blood panel and do the what is it? The allergy test.
Yeah.
Give them what they should do right out the gate.
Yeah, do the food sensitivity / allergy test, micronutrient panel, and then if you're having GI issues, you do the fecal panel. But like I said, if you're
start there.
Yeah, if you're going to a doctor, they'll or a naturopathic doctor, they'll know what to recommend.
Correct.
And then injectable supplement wise, glutathione, NAD plus, and then
what does glutathione do again?
Glutathione is basically one of the most prevalent antioxidants in your body, so it's really good for detoxing your body. It gives like nice skin glow.
Yeah.
Then the NAD plus, anti-aging, mitochondrial support, focus. I mean, for me, the biggest thing with NAD plus is the focus.
Yeah.
And then HRT wise, testosterone, human growth hormone. And I think another.
What's your thoughts on human growth hormone?
Oh, I love it.
You love it.
Yeah.
Why is it so good for men?
For men, Well, I think it's good for anyone.
Yeah.
But sleep wise, it's amazing for sleep, fat loss, and then recovery. It's really good. But yeah, it's important for all these things. You want to make sure you have a prescription for these things.
Yeah.
I'm not telling anyone to go out and just
start
blasting these things.
Right.
But
I asked what your
and then
your
you
protocol.
And then you got to look at your blood work too. So
start there.
Yeah, so you got to make sure you're doing the right amount of testosterone for your body. So I get my blood work done. My doctor looks at everything, and we make sure everything looks good when we're doing these things.
Yeah, of course.
The testosterone, I think, man, if we could get men on testosterone in this country, we would
the world be a better place.
We would be way better. We're in an epidemic right now.
Yes.
Of low testosterone, and you can see just how soft people are out there
Yes,
these days,
bro.
It's crazy. And,
say it loud, dude.
Yeah, and
I'm telling you.
And there was a Harvard study that correlated higher testosterone levels with more success in men, and it's not even the success aspect of it, but testosterone allowed me to get off antidepressants. I'm focused.
You were on antidepressants?
Yeah, for a couple years.
Yeah.
And then
Talk about that.
Got on TRT and then just got off them.
Really?
Yeah. But I think part of the reason I was experiencing those depressive symptoms was the Adderall. Adderall fries your brain, and I wasn't sleeping because I was always on a bunch of Adderall. Adderall affects your sleep. It affects basically just releases any stimulant can release a lot of stress hormones in your body, especially one as strong as Adderall.
Yes.
So I was just always stressed, and
which then releases cortisol.
Yeah, I got talked into it, and then I became a zombie. I literally became a zombie on those things. I lost my charisma. Walked around differently, and then I was like, but I also had low testosterone in my early 20s because I was partying a lot. I wasn't sleeping, stressed from school, and then I started with clomiphene to really increase my test. But clomiphene can make you kind of emotional, and
I took clomiphene.
Yeah, and the problem with it is you cycle it. So you take it for a couple weeks, you get off it, so your testosterone levels are going. Brr, brr, brr.
Yeah,
and when your testosterone levels are all over the place, that's when you get the side effects. So if you're on a TRT, it's going to be relatively
testosterone replacement therapy, by the way.
Yeah. So if you're on a constant dose, you're injecting it a couple times a week, you're going to have very stable levels, less side effects.
I get an injection every week. Mm-hmm. I'm 54. I feel like I'm 24.
Yeah.
I feel like a freaking $1,000,000.
You look like $1 million.
Yeah, well,
you're an absolute unit.
Yeah. I started at 50. I waited till 50 to start TRT, which is incredible. I was in the mid 300s of testosterone level.
See, that's what I was in my early 20s.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, I started at 28. I'm 34 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, folks, if you're guys, and women too, women are low on testosterone. Women need it as well.
Yeah.
That women don't realize that. A lot of times your testosterone levels can be off, and that affects your hormones and your attitude and everything, and your energy, your libido. I can't say enough about it since I started it, and I've at age 50, and now I'm for my age, optimal 700. And remember this, guys, the doctors are going to tell you that you're normal. Like if you have a 300 or 400 testosterone level, they're going to say, oh, you're fine. That's normal.
Yeah.
The normal doctors are going to say you're normal. But who wants to walk around, or average? That's your average.
Yeah.
Who wants to walk around as average?
Yeah.
I want to be optimal. So 100%. My optimal range is 700 to 900 for my age. So if you're in your 30s, the optimal is probably 800 to 1200.
Yeah.
So if you're operating lower than that, you don't even know what life is.
Yeah, and the problem is the range is so big.
Yeah.
The range is huge, and then another thing, different people feel differently at different levels of testosterone.
Yes.
One man could feel amazing at 500, whereas another man could feel like death at 500. So that's why it's so important to get with a doctor and a legitimate doctor who isn't brainwashed by the system,
right?
Who can help you get to where you need to be, and it'll change your life.
And go to the naturopath, so mine is Catalyst Wellness. Everybody knows that in San Diego. They do a whole blood panel, and to your point, Dr. Bronner does it as well. Dr. Brian Trainer, he goes to my church. He was on my podcast. Brian Trainer's an amazing guy. He does TRT as well. He's in Coronado. Dr. Bronner's in La Jolla. And UTC area is actually the same area. UTC is Catalyst Wellness. So here's what you do, folks, guys, girls, everybody. Start per what Ryan's saying here and per what I'm saying is when it comes to your entire health, start with a blood panel. But go to a naturopath. Don't get one from your normal doctor because, as he said, and as everybody says, they're just not going to test for the things that you really need to test for. They're just not.
They don't. One, they don't test for everything, and then two, the ranges are so big and they don't really customize anything to you.
Correct.
They basically see everyone as the same when everyone is very different. That's why all of our stem cells are different based on each person that's treated.
Yep.
Your vitamin should be specific to you. Your diet should be specific to you. That's another reason why I'm so against like the classic macro diet.
Yeah.
Everyone just looks at the macros when it comes
how much
to
protein, how much fat.
Like that's important, but you got to look at the micronutrients, and then you also have to look at the quality of the food and the proclivity of the food to mess your body up if it's something your body doesn't agree with.
And again, to reiterate here, on that note, start with a intensive blood test. Go to a naturopath. Find a naturopath. If you need a referral here in San Diego, Ryan and I got you. We've got tons. I've got like a half a dozen off the top of my head that I can lead you to. And they're going to tell you. We'll do a full blood panel. Let's see where your hormones are at. Let's see where your triglycerides are at. Let's see where your cholesterol's at. Let's see where and then they're going to say, okay, here's what else you need to go through: the allergy, the food sensitivity test. The DNA test is a whole nother level.
Oh yeah.
That's a thing now.
The DNA methylation.
The methylation.
Yeah.
To see what your body methylates or doesn't methylate.
Yeah,
Methylation.
see, I take something for that too.
You do?
Yeah, just a natural thing.
Yeah.
MTHFR support from
Yes.
Dr. Bronner.
Yeah. Because there's certain nutrients that your body just doesn't methylate. Folic acid, I think it's 47% of the population cannot properly methylate folic acid.
Yeah.
That's half the population.
Yeah, and B12 is another big one too. I heard B12, a lot of people can't methylate that.
And
either.
if that's the case, then you get inflammation, right? That leads to inflammation if you can't properly methylate that. And guys, by the way, in big news flash here, public service announcement, not almost, every single grain, rice, name it, every grain in our country is treated with folic acid. Bread, rice, it all has folic acid in it. Remember many, many years ago, became a law to treat it with folic acid? Half our population can't methylate folic acid.
That's crazy.
Yes. So get the blood test, get the methylation test, get the DNA test, get your food sensitivity test. Start there. Then you'll know exactly what's going on in your body, and then your naturopath can customize your treatment based on your body, on what nutrients you should be putting in it, what supplements you should be putting in it, what foods you shouldn't be eating, right?
Yeah.
How your hormones on, how much hormones you should be doing. Like me, when I'm walking around at 11 or 1200 testosterone level, that's my range. Yeah. But again, like you said, some guys might feel good at 8 or 900.
Yeah.
Or the beta males, that don't want to do testosterone. Hey, if you want to be beta male for the rest of your life, and if your wife is happy with a beta male in the sack, that's fine. If she's used to you not bringing it,
they just want to play COD in their mom's basement. That's what they do.
Hey, I get guys like that all the time.
And talk crap on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, about the alpha males.
Yeah.
I get guys all the time like, well, dude, I want to stay on it. I heard you have to stay on it the rest of your life. I'm like, bro, do you take vitamins? Yeah. Do you have to stay on them the rest of your life? Yeah. Okay. What's the difference? The difference is if you don't want to take testosterone, I'm like, are you happy with the testosterone level of a female? Are you happy? How's that working for you? You don't even have a bicep vein. You're working out 6 days a week. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
If you want to get lean and actually have visible abs, I don't know. If you like being fat and the testosterone of a female and a beta male, then just don't take testosterone.
Yeah. And it's like it's the mindset
that's right.
too. It changes your mindset.
Yeah.
Like when you're walking around with low test, you walk around differently.
Yeah.
You're not respected. You don't have the focus. You don't have the energy, and you just don't have that fire.
You don't have the confidence.
Like I didn't have that. I've always been confident, but I didn't have that underlying fire before my testosterone was optimized.
Yeah.
It's a completely different life. It's a different life.
It's a different life.
Why I'm telling everyone, you need to get your levels checked because the ingredients in our food, some of the preservatives, birth control in the water, all these things are lowering testosterone, and men's testosterone levels are at all-time lows. And that's why we got so many crybabies out there complaining about everything, playing the victim.
Soft beta males.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing. But like, I'll give you an example. One of the ingredients in our food, one of the preservatives, actually turned male frogs female when they were placed in. I don't know the name of the preservative off the top of my head, but I've read about it. I've seen videos on it, and it's crazy.
Bro, we need to go on a crusade here. We're on one right now.
We are.
We're on one right now on this podcast. Men, get on testosterone if your testosterone's low, and the odds of that are very high because, as you said, Ryan, our food and everything in our life right now is lowering testosterone levels. This is a thing for the country, bro.
Yeah.
It's a racket. They're trying to lower our testosterone levels.
Well, they are, because when you're weak, you're easier to control.
Yes.
When you're weak, you're easier to control. And the one of the things that pisses me off the most is the fact that a woman can get testosterone easier than me. They say, hey, I want to sprout a dick and get testosterone. They can go in there and get it.
Yes.
And then the insurance company will pay for them to get some gender reassignment. And I can't even get testosterone.
And you're a man.
I have to go to a naturopath doctor, pay way more than I should if it was prescribed by Kaiser. And it's just a sham. The whole thing is a sham.
It's a sham. But this is what they want, bro. They want weak, soft beta males.
They do.
Because then listen, we're alpha males. We should be leading our family. We should be the leaders of our family. What's our number one role and job in the world, bro? Protect and provide.
Yeah.
These soft, weak beta males are being ruled by their own wives like they're like children.
Yeah.
Being told what to do, falling in line. Listen, that's okay. But come on. We've been put here to freaking be men, alpha males, to lead, to inspire, to have confidence, to forge the path.
Yeah, to innovate and to change the world. Yes. And it's just unfortunate, but yeah, a lot of things need to change.
Yeah.
But I mean, RFK's on TRT.
Yes. Yeah, of course he is.
and look what he wants to do.
Look at him. He looks like $1 million.
Yeah, he looks amazing, and it's just we're just so blessed to have these people trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, let's hope
hope he doesn't get gunned down.
Yeah, the testosterone, what was it? Somebody was telling me, "Oh, aren't you worried about that? I'm worried about the high cholesterol and this side effect and that side effect." I'm like, bro, so you live with fear over faith?
Yeah. Well, and another thing, you're replacing what you don't have.
That's it.
Like if you're juicing your brains out, taking a way higher dose, then you will get those side effects.
Of course.
But it's just like any drug. Any drug used or certain drugs used. Some drugs you shouldn't be using at all.
Yeah.
But if you use drugs in the amount that they're intended to be used at, then you're probably not going to have any issues.
Bottom line is this: it's bioidentical hormones. They're supposed to be in our body.
Yeah.
Men are supposed to have testosterone at high levels to operate at a optimal level for a man, alpha male. We're supposed to have testosterone. That's the bottom line. You're just bringing the stuff in that you don't have.
Yeah.
That your body no longer produces.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. And then when you look at depression going up, testosterone going down, I mean, there's a huge correlation there.
100%.
I mean, men are more depressed than ever, and testosterone levels are at all-time lows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
they're softer than ever.
It's all correlated. Yeah.
Soft men, low testosterone. There's a correlation here.
Yeah.
We have a problem.
100%.
All right, so let's land this plane by talking about luxury stem cells. Give me somebody that's watching, listening. What can we offer them special if they mention the show? If they saw us on Real Deal Wellness. Number one, the intake form has Real Deal Wellness, so make sure you mention that you heard about it from the show. But give me a scenario of what they would do if they want to come in and at least take a tour, come down, get a whole thing. So you guys start with the blood panel too, right? Like a whole thing?
Yeah, day one we look at the blood work because you have to look at the blood work to know whether or not people are candidates for stem cells. And there's other things that may make them not a candidate as well. Not everyone is a candidate. So we want to see medical history, blood work. Basically first step, you fill
Give
out.
them the first step of what do they do right now from here? Reach out to me, reach out to you, contact us.
Yeah, you can reach
and
out
put
to-
their mind at ease. Sorry about because me going south of the border, I'm like, put their mind at ease on how simple that process is.
Yeah, it's very easy. We have drivers. If you want a driver, we can have a driver pick you up. Some people want to drive themselves, but with our package, a driver's included. So basically, you get picked up by the driver. You go down first.
Picked up from where? From the States?
Yeah, picked up in America.
So you go down to a certain. So all right. So sorry. Go back.
Yeah, we have
fill
drivers,
out the intake form.
Yeah, we have drivers that can pick you up from your house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, but a lot of people come in from all over the world. So some people fly directly into TJ. Some fly into San Diego, stay there a night, and then come down. But TJ is a very safe place. It's a city of over 3 million people. If you look at any big city in America, there's a lot of violence in all big cities.
Yeah.
A lot of it is blown out of proportion. I honestly feel less safe in LA and San Francisco than I do in Tijuana. Everyone is very nice. And there's just a negative stigma, but I think a lot of it comes from big pharma trying to scare people from going down there because TJ is the medical tourism capital of the world.
That's crazy.
If you look at the difference in the city in the last 15 years, because I grew up going down there every weekend with my dad. My first business was buying fireworks and jewelry and knives and stuff and selling them to my friends. So I'd go down there every weekend, get products, come back, and it's a completely different place than it was then. There's skyscrapers everywhere. Most of them are hospitals and nice hotels where patients stay. So basically with our process, you get picked up in America, driven down to the clinic. You're going to do blood work, go over the medical history with the doctor. Day one, you're going to do the preparatory work for the stem cells, hyperbaric oxygen. The driver will then take you to your hotel, which is the Quartz Hotel. It's very, very nice hotel. It's actually connected to one of our locations. So you're going to stay there. We have a driver at the hotel that will take you back to the clinic for the second day. Typically, you'll be treated with whatever the protocol requires.
Yeah.
If it's just a joint, you could knock that out in 2 days. But if it's something more serious like long COVID, you're probably going to be there for 5 to 10 days. So every day you're going to have the driver driving you back and forth. And we have meal plans as well. So we have organic meals. That's an add-on that people can have. But there's 24-hour room service at the hotel, 5 to 6 restaurants. We know owners of a lot of the top restaurants down there. So the driver can take you to super nice restaurants. Caesar's is one of them. It's where the Caesar salad was invented.
No way.
My business partner's best friends with the owner of that.
Wow.
And so we have connections all over Tijuana, and it's not just a medical treatment. It's a luxury travel experience, and you're going to leave way healthier than when you arrived.
I love that.
Yeah.
So they see the show, hear the show. What's the first place they're going to reach out to? How are they going to get a hold of you or me? About this?
Yeah, they could reach out to you, they could reach out to me, but the first step is filling out our medical intake form. And if you fill out the medical intake form at the bottom, there's going to be Real Deal Wellness. Make sure you check that. If you check that, you're going to get 10% off your first treatment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. 10% off. Real deal.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so another thing is, when people go, what if someone's just coming down to take a look around and see the facility? Can they do that as well? How does that work?
Yeah, they can come check out the facility at any time.
Anytime.
Come down. They could do hyperbaric. If they wanted to drive, they could come down to do MRIs too. If they don't have to dive right directly into the stem cells.
Right.
If they wanted to do that, we could provide a driver, pick them up, do the MRIs. Drivers.
And they pay out of pocket for that, I'm assuming, right? Out of pocket for everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So MRIs are about $225 each. Drivers
That's it?
about $100. So
$225.
Yeah, $225.
That's it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah, and we have the best machines. All of our machines are anywhere from $500,000.
Do guys like me and you
$1
fit in that machine?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, and they're not the loud banging machines. They're the new ones.
Because guys like me, you in that tube are like,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, it's tough.
And you do CTs as well?
Yeah, we do. We have every kind of machine now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then HBOT, what does an HBOT session cost down there?
About $120.
$120
for medical grade.
Medical grade.
Yeah, in the U.S. it's probably, I'd say, around 200, 250.
Yeah, there's a place right behind here that charges $200.
Yeah, but another thing about HBOT is a lot of these tent ones that only go down 1.3 atmospheres. You don't really get the full result from
Correct.
that. And a lot of like I used to go to Restore Hyper Wellness and they had those there. It was 1.3 atmospheres. Like I felt good in there.
Yeah.
I could bring my computer in, do some work, but the medical grade is a different level.
Yeah,
it's a whole different level.
That one's what, 2.3, 2.6?
2.6. 2.6 atmospheres, yeah.
And above, does it go higher than that?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
okay, that's as high as it goes.
That's pretty high. I mean, there may be some machines that go higher than that, but it's, anything above 2 is very good.
Okay, beautiful. Anything else that we need to talk about on this show? We talked about Big Pharma. We talked about the country, the current state of affairs, stem cells. Because I want to make sure we hit everything, man, because this has been phenomenal, bro. People are going to eat this up.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we heal a lot of people, or at least spark a movement of people thinking, oh, wow, I need to make a move here. Let me try this.
Yeah, I just hope people think differently. That's all I want, is to people to think differently and not trust everything that they hear. And another piece of advice, I would say, diversify your doctors like you diversify your investment portfolio. Because not all doctors are created equal and they all have different niches. So if you're working with doctors who have different niches that are good within their niche, like you got Kaiser in case you get hit by a bus.
Right.
You got your naturopath to dial in your diet, your gut health and all that stuff. And then, you have a regenerative therapy doctor like our doctors who specialize in stem cells and longevity, then you're going to be way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Way ahead of the game.
And then a wellness center where you can go get naturally healed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is a huge part of my regimen too. I'm in here every day doing cryo.
So how much does cryo help you?
Oh, I've been doing cryo for 5 years now.
You love it.
Basically every day for 5 years. So I started out at a place in Del Mar, went to Restore, which was $320 a month for unlimited.
Just for cryo, right? Or everything?
No, everything.
Everything $320
except HBOT.
So
it had everything you have here for $320.
$320.
And then I started coming here.
$99
a month
for everything.
Yeah, and I'm in here basically every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we see you almost every day.
Yeah, I need cryo. Cryo is amazing.
I do cryo 6 days a week. It's the first thing I do every single morning when I come. I hop right in that freaking chamber. Because what happens in cryo is, remember the Adderall thing? You immediately release dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. All the happy chemicals get naturally released when you're freezing.
Oh yeah.
It's a big deal.
And then when you combine it with the heat, that's when you get the biggest dopamine rush. When you do the contrast.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, so I do the cryo here. I do sauna at the gym.
Yep.
I do red light here. Sometimes here and there.
Yep.
Now it's easier to book now that you have multiple machines.
Yeah, we got our third machine.
Yeah.
And we'll be adding a fourth. I would say probably by the end of the year, coming into the new year, we'll be adding a fourth. There's no doubt, because we're already, we're flooding. We have over 100, and I think we're at 110, 120 people a day coming through our doors for wellness. Because the body can naturally heal itself, folks, by you just trigger the natural healing properties through extreme heat, extreme cold, extreme pressure, and low-level laser therapy, a.k.a. red light therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the body's, with stem cells, essentially the body's healing itself too.
That's correct.
Like the exosomes are directing your own cells what to do. The stem cells are creating new tissues. So the body has a great proclivity to be able to heal itself if you put it in the right state.
That's right. That's right. And you have to know how to do that. And now, after podcasts like this, people have been thoroughly educated on stem cells.
Yeah. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I do know a lot. But yeah, working with some of the best doctors in Mexico is what sets us apart.
I love it. So, I can't wait to bring one of them on. Tell them they got to get on here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do the meeting in Mexico so you could go in the hyperbaric.
Yes, we'll do the podcast in the hyperbaric chamber.
Oh man,
I don't know if I could pull that off.
No.
Oh, that's right. You can't have electronics in there.
Yeah, no electronics because it's 100% oxygen. So.
Oh yeah, because it could be flammable.
Yeah,
not good.
We gotta get you down there though. I know you're scared.
I know, dude.
You're
now
safe.
You got the car service.
The worst thing that ever happened to me in Mexico is I was smoking a cigar on the street. Someone drove by and said, "Hey, gringo."
That was it.
It's like, yeah, hey, man, good eyes. I am a gringo.
that was the worst thing that's ever happened.
That's the worst. Yeah, it's like, it's funny, you know.
Maybe I'll come down with the wifey.
Yeah,
just to see the clinic.
Yeah,
because then the more I see it, I'll talk about it more. because I want to get as many people healed in this world as possible. I mean, God has called me now to heal his children. And with you, with your stem cells, man, it's a huge thing, bro.
Yeah.
And I love that you broke down your entire facility, how you do it. You guys are top notch. So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Alling, if you want to hit me up, hit him up. If you want to go down there, check it out. If you got someone in your family that needs this, that needs healing, that has an injury, whatever the case may be, hit us up. We'll put you in contact with Ryan and his team and Luxury Stem Cells. So, bro, it's been an honor, been a pleasure. Once again, Ryan Alling, CEO of Luxury Stem Cells, ladies and gentlemen. Real Deal Talk. Hope you guys got some incredible value out of this podcast, because I know I did. So thank you, bro.
As did I. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure, been an honor. Real Deal Talk. That's a wrap.